Get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, welcome to one of my replays. This is the AT-15, it's the Tier 8 British tank destroyer, and this is my favourite map in the world. I love this map so much, you guys, it's just amazing. I would just play this map all day long and nuke it every single time. This is actually an 0810 replay, and I've been sitting on this one for a little while. I don't tend to do my replays in kind of chronological order, especially in terms of when they came out with the patches. I tend to hang on to them sometimes for a while so I can have a good mix of what I put out on my channel. So even though patch 9.0 is actually out, it's not all going to be patch 9.0 replays, it's still going to be that same mix, but you'll see some patch 9.0 replays creeping in there. So this is not great matchmaking. It's about half tier 8s on each side, but that still leaves about half tier 9s and 10s. Only 2 tier 10s though, but some of those tier 9s are artillery, so that's going to be ouchy. Also, everybody, barring just a few people, the majority of the team are going over to the forest side of the map, and yeah, you can see our T-71 is basically, I don't know if that was brave or foolhardy, but that rushing into the forest at this stage, there's not even anyone to shoot at the stuff he's lighting up. This is suicide scouting, basically. It doesn't really benefit anyone. So that's our scout down already, and on a map like this, that's kind of a waste. There's myself, Tiger 2, 2 Waffles, a Lerva, and also artillery on this side. So it's what, 5 tanks plus arty? So that's the majority of the team on the other flank. This is going to be interesting. Our Tiger 2, yeah, he is also not long for this world. Now, I think I hit the gun mantle on that Indian Panther. Bit unfortunate, but yeah. Or I could have hit the gun even, not sure. Tiger 2 is just ploughing forward. Just completely, regardless of the fact he's bombed here, regardless of the fact he has no backup, regardless of the fact he's getting shot, he's just quite happily trundling forward. I think we can guess how that's going to go. We have, at least, you know, thanks to his scouting, we know the 110E5 is there, we know the M103 is there, the Indian Panzer we already knew about. This is, yeah, my only hope, really, being here is use the terrain here to my best advantage, and basically try and pop up and take shots, because the gun handling on this, the AT-15 is really good. It's a 20-pounder gun, not much damage, but decent penetration. But the problem, oh, we'll see, we've just lost a Waffle there. The problem with that is that it doesn't really scare anybody, and the armour on this against higher tier guns is, it's okay, but if they have even I don't know, if they have even a little time to aim, then they can go for your weak spots. So the Tiger 2 inevitably died. T-50-41, so there's what, 4 tanks on this flank? 5? I think it turns out there's gonna be 5. There's 4 spotted at the moment. So it's 4 versus 3, it's one of their tier 10s, and the remaining Waffle at this point is basically, you know, trying to get people to come back and help, because this is kind of a fairly desperate situation. We are definitely outmatched in terms of hit points and firepower, although the Waffle's got a good gun, but yeah, I think I just bounced the Indian Panzer there, so that wasn't that tough really. So I'm being ultra cautious here. We're really relying on that Waffle and also artillery, because the thing with Waffle is it's got not much armour. Now that was a really lucky pen and also a really lucky bounce, but that was a total snapshot on his part. You get a fair few shells with this thing, so I am just blatantly wasting shots here in the hopes of almost laying down suppressing fire, like forcing them to go back. And there's our enemy artillery focusing me, so that's also fun. He's just fired, however, so I know I've got a little safe window here while he reloads for the next 30 or 40 seconds. But there's no cover here in terms of terrain, so literally my only hope of not getting nailed by artillery is just that he misses. Now I don't know what that was. It wasn't the 110 and it wasn't the Indian Panzer, so I don't know. The T-54E1 is down, the M103 died as well, so it's 3 versus 2 at the moment, plus artillery. And they know the Lurva's there, they know I'm here, and they know there's nothing else. And there's artillery again! I think that one was more of a guess, because I must not have been spotted at that point. So I'm going to take a peek round the other side, because at this point, when you know there's only a couple of defenders, and it's 7-7, the team is actually... we were facing off against superior numbers here, but not that greatly superior. We managed to whittle them down, so it's not like this would have been a massively easy thing for them to rush. But at this point, because they know there's only me here alone on this the side of this hillock, and they know the Lurva is alone there in the trees, then trying to get around would have been the logical thing. And there we go, I spot the Indian Panzer. So I put a shot into him. He goes, uh-oh, and takes cover behind a house. But it's a destructible house. And I've got a pretty nice rate of fire, so... yeah, cover, Indian Panzer? What cover? Anyway, the Lurva finishes him off. And, that just leaves the WZ1, wow, I gave it away there, the 110E5, and the mystery tank, which I have given away. It's going to be the WZ. That leaves 3 tanks in the forest to deal with, and our guys, basically, they could at this point rush the forest, but they're being quite cautious, really. And there we go, there is our mystery guest, the WZ. I just fling a shot in his direction, because even if I'd been able to aim at his commander's hatches, it's kind of unlikely I'd have penned with regular AP, because those things are still pretty tough on the WZ. The 110 is, yeah, he's being a bit more aggressive at this point, because he knows we're alone, basically. If the WZ and the 110 had stormed in together, then we'd have been in serious trouble. Now there's a WT, even, Waffenträger, storming down the middle there, which is not quite sure why. I was obviously hoping to catch us with our draws down, but he's in a very weakly armoured tank, so that means he isn't in the forest. That means there's only 2 things in the forest. He has taken out the Rheinmetall, but I'm managing to track him, I'm managing to do some damage, and I think he gets a shot off at the Lurva. But, can I get a kill? Yes, I can. However, unfortunately, the 110E5 takes that distraction as an opportunity to move up. I get lucky there, though. That is in his track, and there's a WZ behind me, so screw it. I'm just going to keep the 110 tracked. I might even be able to do a little bit of damage. And then I am going to inevitably die. But the Lurva's hanging on, and we're down to the last couple of tanks on the enemy team now. So I have, and there's the WZ down, I have hung on just long enough, and I can't pretend that was fun. But sometimes, even when you're in this kind of situation, and it seems totally, utterly hopeless, sometimes hanging on just long enough can make the difference between a win and a loss. And if you are in a position where you can actually delay the enemy team for long enough, then that can vastly influence the outcome of a match. Now, unfortunately, most of the time in this kind of situation, it's just you're going to lose. Most of the time, it isn't going to work out like this, but sometimes it is. And I always have the feeling that it's worth trying, it's worth keeping on trying in these kind of situations, just on the admittedly unlikely, but on the chance that it will actually pay off and that the rest of your team will be able to come through. So even though I've died, it was not without purpose. And there we go, enemy RT down, so that's it, game over, and we did actually win. So that was a fairly close battle. Now if we take a look at the scores, I didn't get any badges or anything for that, but I actually got the best score on the team. 1,141 base XP, and the Lurva actually got second best score. Only just second best score, but still. And you might be thinking, I only did 1,800 damage. Well, that's because I had 3.8k, 3,809, so almost exactly 3.8k. spotting and assistance damage. Now, it won't all have been spotting. I think a big chunk of it will have been assistance from shooting tracks of various things. But it's the case that even though I wasn't able to do much damage, I was still able to assist the team and actually get rewarded for doing that. And that's you have to always be a bit mercenary in that kind of situation. When you know you're not going to be able to do that much damage, it helps a lot if you're in a tank that's got good view range. And of course the spotting system is so opaque, it's very, very hard to tell if you're going to get spotting damage or not. But if you can manage to shoot the tracks of things in order that your allies can hopefully shoot them, it doesn't always work out, you can get quite a lot of XP for doing that as well. So we hung on quite a lot there. And despite some of our tanks basically being dead weight, I mean the T-71 and the Tiger II both suicided, we can see that STI had a score of, he did 0 damage, he was second from the bottom. Yes, he was stock, but he still basically did nothing for the team either. And our Object 432 apparently also did no damage at all. We had some not terribly good players on our team. So despite all that, we were actually able to come through and survive quite nicely. So there we are, the AT-15A. No, not the AT-15A, just the AT-15. Wow, totally different tank. It's a whole other tank. Wow, GG brain, GG. If you like this replay, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel, you can check out some of my other videos on my Facebook page, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.